Welcome to section 9.18, part 1. This is the 90th session of the CISSP exam prep series. In this session, we'll cover the risks that mobile devices bring and the on-device features that tame them. Why are mobile devices such a security headache? What sets Android and iOS apart? How do you manage a whole fleet of them? How does a device prove who is holding it? Why does full device encryption matter? How do you protect calls and messages? What do you do when a device is lost? And how do screen locks, lockout, and location services help or hurt? Why does this matter beyond the exam? Because these devices walk in and out of your building every single day. Picture a consulting firm where every analyst carries a phone full of client contacts, contracts, and email. One left in a taxi could hand a competitor everything. Your job is to make sure that lost phone is a shrug, not a headline. That comes from the features and policies we are about to walk through. So why are mobile devices such a security headache? Because they combine huge capability with weak default protection. Many run stripped-down operating systems that never got the decades of security hardening a desktop received. They hold contacts, messages, email, documents, and cameras that can capture sensitive scenes in a second. They also become smuggling tools. A malicious insider can carry code in on a phone or memory card, then carry stolen data right back out. And do not forget eavesdropping, since conversations can be overheard or even tapped. Treat every mobile device as a tiny, mobile branch office that could leak. What sets Android and iOS apart? They represent two philosophies. Android is built on Linux and is highly open, letting users install from official and unknown sources and even replace the operating system itself. That openness invites malicious apps, hostile scripts, and insecure data transfers, though updates and add-on tools steadily improve it. There is even a hardened variant that brings mandatory access control, app sandboxing, and blocks on privilege escalation. Apple's iOS takes the opposite road. It runs only on Apple hardware, so Apple controls the whole experience, and apps come through its official store. Think of Android as a house you can renovate freely, and iOS as a well-guarded apartment where the landlord sets the rules. How do you manage a whole fleet of these devices? You register them with a central management system. Mobile device management lets you push or pull apps, enforce configuration, and keep devices patched, whether they connect over the carrier network or Wi-Fi, and whether the company owns them or the employee does. The newer, broader approach is unified endpoint management, which controls phones, laptops, wearables, and industrial devices from one platform, replacing several older tools at once. Think of it as an air traffic control tower for every gadget that touches your network. Nothing flies unmanaged. How does a device prove who is holding it? Through real device authentication, not a lazy swipe or pattern. Whenever you can, require a password, a personal identification number, a face or fingerprint scan, or a proximity token. Pair that authentication with encryption so no one can pull data off through a cable while the screen is locked. For online services, layer on multi-factor authentication combined with context-aware authentication. Context-aware means the system weighs where and how you are connecting. A login from your usual phone inside the office is low risk and waved through, while an attempt from an unknown device in a strange location triggers a tougher challenge. Think of a doorman who nods you in on a normal day but demands extra proof when something looks off. Why does full device encryption matter? Because it turns a lost device into a locked safe. When storage is encrypted and the screen locks, the physical data port shuts down, blocking anyone from siphoning data through a cable. Many devices ship pre-encrypted or let the owner turn it on, and it is almost always worth enabling. Just remember, it is not magic. A device stolen while unlocked, or one with a known backdoor, can still spill its contents. Encryption protects the resting device, not the one already open in a thief's hands. How do you protect calls and messages in transit? With communication encryption. Voice calls over Internet Protocol can be encrypted so that anyone tapping the line hears only scrambled noise. The same principle extends to video, text, and data through apps built on well-respected cryptography. When the channel is encrypted, interception becomes pointless because the contents are undecipherable. Think of speaking in a code only your intended listener can decode. Anyone else on the line just hears static. What do you do when a device is lost or stolen? You trigger a remote wipe to erase its data and settings from afar, over cellular or any internet connection. But treat it as a strong precaution, not a guarantee. A clever thief can block the wipe signal by pulling the SIM card, killing Wi-Fi, or dropping the device into a signal-blocking bag, then calmly extract the data. Worse, a plain wipe often just deletes, so recovery tools can undo it. The fix is to combine remote wipe with full device encryption, so anything recovered is unreadable ciphertext. Think of shredding documents before tossing them, rather than just dropping them whole in the bin. How do screen locks, lockout, and location services help or hurt? Screen locks stop a casual passerby, but only if you move past easy swipes and patterns to a personal identification number, password, or biometric, and set them to trigger after idle time. Device lockout adds teeth by disabling access after repeated failed attempts, sometimes with growing delays or even a full data wipe, so know the exact behavior before you ever guess a code. Location services cut both ways. Positioning can help you recover a stolen device and enable location-based access rules, but geotagging quietly stamps photos with where and when they were taken, which a stalker could exploit. Treat location as a tool that must be governed by policy, never left wide open. So let's bring it together. Mobile devices pair rich capability with weak defaults, so they demand deliberate protection. Android and iOS reflect open versus controlled philosophies. You govern the fleet with mobile device management or unified endpoint management, enforce real authentication with context, awareness, and encrypt the whole device. You protect communications in transit, keep remote wipe paired with encryption, and harden screen locks, lockout, and location settings. Get these controls in place, and a lost phone becomes a minor inconvenience instead of a crisis. The MCQs covering all the topics and concepts from this session are available on rucloud.com. Practice the chapter-specific MCQs before moving on to the next session. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or feedback, post a comment below or email us. I will see you in the next session.